But let me tell you the limits, so that Allah would not criticize you the way He criticized the Christians, saying, فَمَا رَأَوْهَا حَقَّ رَآيَتَهَا. They did not observe it the way they had to observe it. They did not observe the limits. You want khalwa? You want isolation? Wake up 2 hours before dawn. Come privately, intimately, talk to me. You want khalwa? You want isolation? I have ordained for you i'tikaf. And I have not set any limit for it. From 3 days to whatever time you want in a mosque, you fast and you do i'tikaf. You want more than this. You want something even more. Okay, there are lots of mustahabbat you can do. You have to purify your heart. You have to be forgiving. You have to be soft. You have to care about other people. وَيَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ. If they see evil, they do not respond with evil. If they see harsh, they do not respond with harsh. يَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ. With goodness, they drive away evil. These are extras. Now, you want to go out of your way, even to go beyond this, then I warn you, this is a dangerous way. This is a dangerous way. Now, this is the path. The path that A'imma alayhimus salam laid down for us is very clear. Very clear. They did not advise anything beyond what I just mentioned. In Sunni schools, of course, they had their own methods and techniques because, of course, they didn't have the imams to guide them. They have techniques that gave them some power to somehow go beyond the surface of this world and find some sort of ma'rifah. Of course, when you find some ma'rifah, you don't say ma'rifah of what? Ma'rifatullah, is it ma'rifatullah? Is it ma'rifatul malaika? Is it the other world? Is a very strange world. When you somehow, your soul, your heart moves on beyond this world, you are faced with a really, really unfamiliar world. You don't know what you see. You don't know what you feel. That is why in the Sunni world, they said you never go this path without a shaykh. You should have a shaykh. Because this is not a world that you can go it on your own, go it alone. The shaykh should tell you the experiences that you have. What is it? They have to explain it for you. What type of experience is it? It is famous that one of the great mystics, Bayazid or Junaid, I don't remember now, he was making a wudu. Of course, I don't know whether these myths are correct or not, but it's written in books. Making wudu, but there's a point, whether it's true story or wrong story, there's a point here that the mystics have tried to convey to us. He was making a wudu, and one of his students suddenly went to sajda and said, Subhan Rabbi al-A'la. And Junaid said, what has happened? He said, I saw the light of Allah. Junaid said, you poor man, this was the light of my wudu you saw. Because al-wudu nur, wudu is light. You saw that. They say if you go this path without a shaykh, without a peer, without a leader, without a teacher, as Hafiz says, Sayr in marhale bi hamrahi khazr makun. This is one of the famous poems of Hafiz. Do not go through this stage without khazr accompanying you. Because it's darkness, things that you cannot explain. things that you cannot explain brings me to one other concept. Mystical experiences do not give us direction, give us pleasure, give us feeling, they fill us with some sort of elation. We feel that we are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Things that cannot be described. Certainly, things in Irfan cannot be described. However, have you ever seen a Christian mystic? Well, mysticism is not something about Islam. It's in every religion. This is something which is born with human being. From the time of Adam alayhi salam, his children, some of them had this mystical inclination. Have you ever heard or seen a Christian mystic to become Muslim? Or to say that Jesus is not Son of God? Have you ever seen a Hindu mystic who have very, very strong experiences of the beyond? Have you ever seen them to say that now we have reached at monotheism, we do not have shirk, we do not worship idols anymore? There may have been a few, but it's not a trend. Why? Because these experiences do not give you direction. You need theology to explain for you the attributes of God. Even if you reach that fana, still you need theology. Still you need prophets to tell you what is this. You cannot, if you reach the highest level of Irfan, you cannot say what is najas, what is tahir. You need fiqh. So, mystical experiences do not give us direction. They are a bonus that when you purify, Allah fills your heart. It's a higher level of iman. إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم. These are the mu'minun who have purified to a higher extent. Mu'minun are those that when Allah is mentioned, their hearts tremble. Now, Allah doesn't say that these are mystics. He said these are mu'minun. But mu'minun of a higher caliber, of a higher level. So, if this is the case, if anyone comes and tells us that by kashf, by unveiling, I realize that the truth is in this and not in that, that the ruling is this and not that, we cannot accept it from them. A Christian mystic will come and tell us that Jesus is Son of God. An Ash'ari mystic remains Ash'ari, a Mu'tazili mystic remains Mu'tazili, a Shi'i mystic remains Shi'i, a Sunni mystic remains Sunni. So mysticism cannot give us direction. It's just experience, it's feeling, it's good. It's the aim, but this has to be accompanied with direction. Okay, let's come back to Shaykh now. This has been the practice in the Sunni world. As I said, in the Shi'i world, this has not been the practice except very rarely, very rarely. We may, of course, cite certain examples, but this has not become a trend in Shi'ism. Our A'imma did not advise this to us. Now, Shaykh, you have to follow the Shaykh. To get the full benefit of the Shaykh, this is of course what the Sunni mysticism has laid down. To get the full benefit of the Shaykh, you have to fully submit yourself to him. If you do not submit to him fully, he cannot guide you. Now, I have read in many books of mysticism. Nowadays, some of them are printed even in Qom. And he says, you just have to be like a deceased, like a corpse in front of the ghasl, the one who is giving you ghusl. You shouldn't have any control. You shouldn't have any decision. Just like a dead person lying before him, before the sheikh, and he should do whatever he wants to you. Otherwise, he cannot guide you. Now, total submission means that first of all, we know that this sheikh has arrived. How can you determine? How can you determine what level this sheikh has? Secondly, no matter what level the sheikh has reached, he's always on danger of falling. What if he falls and he continues to give you guidance? There are many examples. I mentioned one example from the Quran, which is the toughest example, and any other example you bring is lower than this. And then what Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam said about this, which gives us a clue. There's a verse in Surah Al-A'raf, وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَعَ الَّذِي آتَيْنَاهُ آيَاتِنَا فَانْسَلَخَ مِنْهَا فَأَتْبَعَهُ الشَّيْطَانُ فَكَانَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ وَلَوْ شِئْنَا لَرَفَعْنَاهُ بِهَا. Give them the example, recite them the example of the person to him we gave our ayat. It's absolute, our ayat. And that's why the exegetes and the traditions tell that he was given al-ismul a'zam. Not even all prophets are given al-ismul a'zam. You cannot name a mystic who would have been given al-ismul a'zam. We have a very limited number of mystics in history who have claimed that they had ismul a'zam. I don't know whether what they experienced was ismul a'zam or not. Now, the tradition tells us he was given al-ismul a'zam, and whenever he called, Allah responded. فَيُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. There was no mistake. Whatever he asked, Allah gave him. However, it came a time فَانْسَلَخَ مِنْهَا. Now, mystics are not ma'sumin, no matter what level they reach, they are not ma'sumin. فَانْسَلَخَ مِنْهَا. فَإِنْسَلَاخ means coming out of one's skin. These ayat were so merged in him that it was like being his skin part of it, but he struggled out of it. He peeled himself out of these ayat. And shaitan followed him. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says, well, they say this is about Bal'am ibn Ba'ura, one of the great mystics of the time of Musa alayhi salam. And Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says, إِنَّمَا هُوَ مَثَلٌ ضَرَبَهُ اللَّهُ. This is not limited to Bal'am. This is a masal. Not that it is not a real story. Bal'am is given as a masal to know that this is possible. And this happens. So, if this is the case, how could we submit us to a sheikh? And this is why the A'imma has not given us this path. And mind you, most of the deviation in Shi'i faith has come through mystics who chose to go a path different from the path of A'imma alayhimus salam. Dughulat, all of them were mystics with powers, with karamat. Abu al-Khattab Muhammad ibn Abi Zaynab, who was cursed by Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Ibn Baba, who was cursed by Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam. They were all of them had karamat. Babism, Baha'ism, Shaykhism, these horrendous faiths which now have degenerated into secularism, they were all initiated by mystics. Now, Is seeking ma'rifatullah bad? No, of course, that's our aim. We have to seek ma'rifatullah.